Hey guys, I'm just gonna give it a couple more minutes, just in case anybody else pops up on VC, and then I'll get started. Okay, I think we might as well get started. If people hop on a bit later, they can always ask some questions. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. Can you all see that?
Yes.
Chat about heroes. I always say quick, it always ends up lasting a lot longer than I anticipated, so sorry about that. So I'm just going to go over heroes very, very briefly, how they work, how to summon them, what you're looking for, and then the sort of recommendations that go in the council and recommendations for your marches. So first off, heroes is really something that separates the it's something that seems to separate the big spenders from the casual players and casual spenders. And the reason for this is because getting the relics from the game is so difficult, especially the higher end relics. So you have 3 different types of summons. There is a standard summon, which you get a daily amount if you finish your daily quest. You also get a free standard summon every day. And then there are some events such as training, building, that give standard summon. So I'm just going to get some water. Okay, so you have 2 types of standard summons, 2 types of noble summons, and these types of summons you either get from packs, which I don't know if Yep, so you can get 240,000 from a pack, or, and again, there are two types. There are royal summons, which are the rarest summon that you can get. I don't think I've had them in events. Mainly by doing enable summons. So if you do enable summon, for every summon you do, you will get 10 royal seals. You see that at the very bottom. Royal seals times 10 is 100% drop rate. So for every noble summon you do, you get 10 royal seals. And then once you save up the royal seals, you can then do a royal summons. And the difference between the different types is the quality of heroes available. So the standard summon does green, blue, and purple. The noble does blue, purple, orange, and the royal just does purple and orange. And the reason why there are two for each type of summon, let me just show you the qualities. The reason why there are two for each type of summons is because there are different heroes in each option. So if we have a look at the royal summons, you have Benjamin and Barrack as really high percentages. You can see those percentages are substantially. I'm absolutely fine until I started this. Just give me a minute. Okay, sorry about that. So each summon has a different combination of heroes. You have feature heroes, which you can see Benjamin and Barrack in this screen. Benjamin is on 33% drop rate, whereas the other purples are on 8%, and then Barrack is 6% drop rate, whereas the other oranges are 1.47%. And then the same sort of pattern. Sorry, this is the other awesomes, and you can see there's a change in the heroes in each list. And then Eddard and Jane are the ones that are featured in this screen. And the same pattern follows through for all the other summons. So you have your featured heroes, and then you have the other heroes. And then the noble adds blue in, so your drop rate drops because you are mixing in more options. Again, this is Benjamin and Barrack are featured, and you can see the drop rates for the other heroes. And then standard summons, there aren't any featured heroes in standard summons, but it's looking for the heroes that you want. So, for example, if you still needed hot pie for whatever reason, you want to look for the standard summon that has hot pie on it. So you just click the little I button and you can see hot pie there. Whereas if you did a standard summon in the other standard summon and there's no hot pie, you're not going to get any hot pie relics. So it's really important before you start doing any summons, you go in there and make sure that the heroes that you want are actually listed in the summon so that you're actually doing the correct summons. So that's the first step. The second step is that heroes require a lot of experience points. And you get these from events, from actually doing hero events as well. They drop these hero XPs and oaths. And the same events that drop the summons also drop XP and oaths, and it's found right down at the bottom of your inventory. And there's various qualities of XP, and they all have different values. So you have 1,000, 110, which are the common values, and then there are the 10,000, which are orange in quality. And you can actually collect hero XP on a daily basis by gathering. And gathering has a option hero XP. It doesn't seem like much, 210, because it's 2410, but it does add up. When you're doing 4 marches, and the drop rate for hero XP is actually really, really high. So you're getting close to 1,000 XP per batch of marches. And if you're doing, if you have nothing to do in a day and you're just sending out marches to gather XP, you're getting 2,000 to 3,000 XP per day, which is a really decent amount in between hero events. The other thing to notice is that, let's just get rid of these favorite symbols, is that heroes are listed in your screen according to the level. So your highest hero will always be at the top of your screen, whether or not that is the most useful hero for you. And that makes it really hard to navigate this screen and work out what heroes you want to work on, what heroes you want to sort of improve, which ones you want to use in March, which ones you want to use in Council. So what I do is my Council heroes I will deal with separately, and it's the March heroes that I want at the top just so that I can see them. Council heroes are highlighted. You can see my Aria, the little symbol in the top left is golden, and that means she's in the Council, whereas Jane next to her, it's greyed out, so he's not in the Council. He's what I want to highlight. My other March heroes are Benjamin, Rob, and eventually I will be doing Melisandre, but I don't have the XP for her yet, so she's stuck at 10. So just by hitting that little heart there, it's moved those heroes to the top, and then the rest of the heroes go by order. And doing that, also demonstrate, actually let me do it as reinforcements. So Jane is flagged, and the next one should be Benjamin, and you can see it moves them to the top in order of what you send as well. I think that varies slightly depending on the device you're on. Some devices don't quite work like that, but on my iPad it does. The ones that are flagged with the heart get prioritized in terms of march, which is really handy because when you're setting multiple marches really quickly, sorting out your heroes can be really inconvenient. And then in your council, let me just put your council are the heroes that you want to have hero stats that apply purely when they are in the council. So each hero has different types of stats, and if I can show you on Aria really clearly, you can see her top hero is march size, and at the left of the march size icon, there is this little flag on a pole, and that means that that stat only works when she is in your march. The next symbol down, next to cavalry tech versus player, is a little boardroom table type symbol, and that means that the stat only applies when she is in your council. So sending her with my march is absolutely useless because these two stats that are highlighted, cavalry attack versus player and cavalry defense versus player's cavalry, they are stats that I want. They are only active when she is in council. They're not active when she's on the march. Whereas if I go to something like Rob, His signature is Cavalry Defense versus Infantry, which to me is valuable as a cavalry player. His level 20 stat is Cavalry Tech versus Infantry as well. And you can see both those stats are Marcher stats. So he is a hero that I want on my march rather than in council. He's ready to upgrade. I'm actually waiting for a hero event to do him. I like to sort of maximize the rewards I get from events, so I do save my upgrades for events. I'm not a player who spends a ton of money on the game, so anything that I get back from events is worthwhile for me. So where possible, do wait with him. I am waiting to upgrade him. So what else? Yeah. So in your council spots, there are different heroes which have different peppers. Each troop type really has a different type of recommendation that you really use for each hero type. And if you go to the website, there are 3 sets of articles for each hero type. You can Google them, you can go through the website, you can actually go to, let me get the tips, right? So if you scroll down to the bottom of tips, you have these categories, and if you click on heroes, the last few posts are these articles. So if you can't find them through Google or through going to the tips website, you can come to the tips server, scroll down to the bottom, you just want the heroes channel, and the recommendations are there. So you just pick the recommendation of the troop type. As mentioned, because heroes are so money orientated, these recommendations are actually divided into spend levels rather than sort of quality of the heroes. So, for example, somebody like me, let me go to cavalry. So, somebody like me looking at Cersei, she's a really good cavalry hero. So let's just have a look at all her stats. So you have cavalry health versus player at level 10. You also have troop health versus player at level 40. And you have cavalry attack versus ranged at 50. Now for somebody like me, stats above level 30, or should I say stats at level 30 and up, are pretty unachievable. They're pretty unrealistic without regular events like the one that we've had this month. And I'll explain this event in a bit. You get, when a new hero is released, you get a new hero launch pack, which has 20,000 relics of the hero, and that will get you to level 20. Anything above there, you either have to wait for a replay month, which gives you a 10k hero relic pack, which isn't that much, to be honest, when level 30 costs you 54,000. The other option is to do summons, and as I mentioned, summons is doing this process. You can only buy the noble summons, and look at that, you've only got a 0.73% drop rate for Cersei in a noble summon. So it's really difficult and really expensive to get heroes, especially the epic ones, to get them through anything, to get them above 29 for the casual spender. 30 and above is looking at sort of high to really, really high spend level. For a hero that is featured, so the 3% drop rate, you're looking at about less than 5,000 relics per pack. So to get level 30 past, once you've already hit 20 with that 20 relic pack, you're looking at about 11 to 12 noble summons packs just to get to level 30. So that's a lot. And that's if the hero is featured, so if the hero is at 3%. You can actually do the maths. There is a calculator, again in tips. Sorry, I'm shamelessly promoting the tips server here. Right at the top, there is the welcome page, community tools option, and the third post up is a relic drop calculator, which is a spreadsheet, and you just pop in the percent drop rate for the hero you want, how many relics you're after, and it will tell you either the number of packs that you need, or if you put the number of packs you've bought, it will tell you the number of relics you will get. So that's a really useful tool if you're trying to plan ahead and plan your heroes. So yeah, each recommendation is split into spend levels. So your low spenders, you're not going to really benefit that much from, say, above level 10, because her next useful stat is 30, which isn't that realistic. For a purple hero, if you are a mid-spender, you could possibly get to level 30, because that's coming down to about 5 or 6 packs instead of 12 or 12-ish packs. So you've really sort of slammed down the amount of packs you need to get a purple hero. So Arya is cavalry attack versus player, so she's a really good one to have in your council. The hero recommendations do cover also utility heroes, so not necessarily troop-specific heroes. So we have Gendry in the council position for Master of Coin. He has steel efficiency and forging speed, so again, he's a really nice one to have. Varys is a dragon hero. So even though he's council, he still only applies to one march, because he only applies to Dragon March. So that's something to consider. And then Qyburn, he is again the dragon hero. He's got that dragon attack versus dragons boost, which is really nice. Hodor is something that is just a filler space, to be honest. He's not that impressive. He's just got some infantry defense, creature defense in there. So it's just, there is no cavalry relevant hero in that spot. So you might as well put something, just pop Hodor in there. And then for higher spenders, Marjorie again is a crafting hero, but she has a higher buff than Gendry, so she is for the higher type spenders. And then there are some variations in here, and we do this for each of the troop types. So there's usually an explanation as to what the different symbols mean, and then there is a sort of breakdown. And then if you're a high spender, but not a crazy high spender, there are some heroes which have this $ on it, and they're heroes that basically there's no point really investing too much in them unless you plan to max them, because the relevant stat that we're relying on for these recommendations is the level 60 stat. So they have the $ in there to say, actually, if you're not planning to spend to get to level 60, you might want to even consider whether you spend anything at all. The other thing to be aware of is when you get a hero to level 30, an epic hero, this only applies to epic hero, if it's featured, So if it's in rotation in the event, in the summons, so if it's featured and you've got it to level 30, a milestone pack will appear, which gives you 30,000 relics in a milestone pack. If you get it down to level 40, you'll get another milestone relic pack, which gets you 40,000 relics. If you get it to level 50, that's yet another milestone pack, which is 50,000 relics. But those packs are only available for the duration that the hero is featured in the summons. So you don't have to have an event, but you do have to be featured. What else? There are some heroes which, for a relatively cheap spend, you can get a decent utility buff out of them. And they're heroes like Healing Speed from Melisandre at level 10. I think there was Thoros had healing cost efficiency of nearly 50% at level 20. Grey Worm at level 20 has a 97% training speed buff. So there are some really nice heroes to have a look at for your utilities. They are really worthwhile looking at each one of them individually. The recommendations are more guidelines because it really does depend on how much you want to spend, what exactly is your gameplay style. So high spenders, we have the attack spec, and then there's a defense spec. And for both, the nice thing now is that you can change your spec with council presets, which work in the same way as gear presets work. I think the last time I did this with SAVGE was council presets had been announced but hadn't been released, so it's nice that you can actually set your heroes and save them, so you can just switch the heroes around on the flip of a button. And my presets are my cavalry preset, and my secondary preset is utilities, where I get these little buffs like training capacity, some iron gathering, my healing speed, etc. So they're all my council presets. As you can see, because of having limited resources, limited XP, I've really focused on my cavalry heroes, and I'm really focusing on this series of events at the moment because you can get a lot of heroes very, very cheaply from this event. There are 9 crafting events this month. We've already had 4, so there's 5 more. So if you've missed them, don't miss the rest. It's really important to get the crafting events done, because if you do a crafting event, you will get these coins called the Iron Crown. And these coins, the amount you get depends on your keep level. As a T10, I get 28,000. As a T11, you get about 30,000. There we know, but that's how this game is. And then you can use these coins to trade for hero relics, and it's pretty amazing. You get, I think it's something like 15,000 orange relics from 35,000 coins. You get 23,000 purple relics, 35,000 blue relics, and 56 green relics. As a T10, if I do all 9 of my events, I can max out the exchange for 7 heroes, 7.5 heroes, which is really, really handy because that really gets me close to level 30 in some heroes. And actually with Rob, I'm almost at level 30 because of the exchange. So that's a really nice thing. Really make sure that you plan ahead which heroes you're going to do. So, for example, for cavalry, I'd say you want to do Jane for your march, the Hound, Arya, Cersei, probably Rob, Varys, and maybe Qyburn. I like Qyburn because I'm doing enhancements and I really want his level 30, which is some marble efficiency cost that will save me some expense with my enhancements going forward. What else? For infantry, the ones that you want to be looking at are probably going to be Beric, Grey Worm, Eddard, Gendry, or if you're doing Marjorie, Podrick, because you can actually max him with this event. You can actually get a max Podrick with this event, which is really useful. His final stat is a infantry stat. And then for ranged, you probably want Jaqen, Steve, because he's an infantry marcher. What else do you want for ranged? Yara and Leon for ranged. Marjorie for ranged. We get her as high as possible because she is both a crafting and a ranged hero. So really go through them, really plan in advance which heroes you want to focus on, which stats you want to unlock, and how many relics and exchanges you need to do that. Make the most of it. These types of events, I was really surprised by the amount of coins they gave in the events. I was expecting us to be able to maybe max one through the whole series. But they're allowing us to max 7 exchanges, which I think is really, really, really good. So make the most of that. Once you completely max a hero out, I'm nowhere close to maxing any of them out, but I think through this event, a lot of people have managed to max Podrick. Hero relics, you'll still continue to get them from summons. So you will need to be looking at something called the Hero Shop, where if you have any spare relics, it will exchange into these stags. And you'll only get stags that are excess, that are made from excess relics from heroes that you've maxed. So it's not enough to have relics above and beyond what you need to max. You actually need to go through the expense of using hero XP and OS to max the hero. The best return for that is probably the blue heroes, because when you are doing noble summons, you get a lot of blue hero relics, and they're the easiest to accumulate. You don't get many green hero relics because of the fact that they are purely from standard summons, and you only get standard summons from gameplay. You can't buy those. And also the exchange rate for blue heroes is a lot better than the exchange rate for blue heroes. Give me a second, I'll read you out what those exchange rates are. Got a little notification. If you give me a minute, I'll read out the tag in a second. Answer the question. So currently, one orange relic is 1.35 stags. One purple relic is 1.15 stags. One blue relic is 0.6 of a stag. And I think one green relic is 0.3 of a stag. I haven't got it written down, but that's what I. So not only are green heroes really difficult to get, they're also giving you the least return on exchange. Also, the amount of relics that you get from green heroes is the least. If we have a look here. So blue from a summons give you 550. Let me just go to here. Whereas green, you're only getting 300 relics from a green hero, green drop. So you're not only getting the least amount of likelihood of getting them because standard summons are so rare, but you're also getting the least amount per drop. So you're not really utilising the most out of Hero Shop by maxing out a green relic, whereas the blue are in noble summons, and they are the highest drop rate. I mean, 10% is pretty high, and a lot of people get the blues above capacity very quickly because of doing that. 0.6 is not a great return, but it's a lot better than the green. And the blues aren't bad to max, you need to get them to level. And you are exchanging. It's a purple relic, 2.25 stab, a orange relic. So the exchange also, you lose some value in the relics when you're exchanging, but at least you get some use out of them. So that's that. Hopefully this was useful. Let me come down and see what the questions were. Okay, so what is my opinion on cold hands in just now lost strength screen. Let me reset this screen. Okay, so the question was, what is my opinion on cold hands in council? And I think he's a really sort of good budget substitute for Cersei. If you can get Cersei to, I think it's at level 40, where you unlock her troop health versus player, you're kind of getting the same amount of health out of Cersei as you do for cold hands, but you're also getting that re-in cap, which is really nice, and it also gives you the opportunity to start working for the cavalry attack versus range, but she is a high spender hero, so cold hands is a really good budget version hero, and he's one that I will be working on. I've got the relics on. He's currently stuck at 0 because I am waiting for an event, so he's definitely one that I plan to work on because I'm a budget player. So what else? Yeah, so there are some ring heroes and production heroes. Arya has insane 85% iron production. Lots of people are struggling for iron and stone, especially sort of once you start doing high levels of research. Just give me a second. Sorry about that. So you've got the stone production on Hordor. When you start doing high levels of research, you start eating through those resources really, really quickly. So they are nice bonus heroes to have if you can afford to max them. Hot pie for food, no. Food isn't one of the ones that are really isn't really one of the ones that I would sort of recommend investing for. Food would, because everybody tends to have a surplus of those, whereas they don't have a surplus of stone and iron. Any other questions? I think that's it. If you do have any,
I did have a question about preset heroes on a march. Do they? I believe they take precedence over the hearts, but will the hearts fall in line after that preset hero?
They should do. It depends on the device. Some devices actually work really well with that. Like I showed you, by moving my Benjen up, he came immediately after Jane. But for some devices, it doesn't work as smoothly as that. For some reason, if I do it on my phone, they don't go in that order. They still stay in level order, which is really annoying. But yeah, your preset takes priority, and then after preset, depending on your device, they do follow the favorites that you've parted. Anything else? And as mentioned last time when we did the crafting session, we do have the mentorship program. So if you do have any questions and want some one-to-one advice on your own hero setup, please go to Mentor, react to the ticket, get yourself a channel open, and one of the mentoring team will be with you to help you out with how to set up what best to do if you want that sort of help. And obviously, if you don't want to use the mentoring system, you can DM one of the mentors directly that you feel comfortable using, or DM me, I don't mind. But I think that's it for now. And it's a lot shorter than